All right, let's talk about something that feels a little backwards. We spend so much time trying to make things clear, but what if the most powerful way to get a point across is to start with a little bit of confusion? Today, we're going to dive into how our brains process information in some really surprising and sometimes very deliberate ways. Okay, let's just jump right in. Simple question for you. What color is the word on your screen? Did you feel that? That tiny hiccup? That split second of hesitation where your brain had to slam on the brakes? Well, that's kind of the whole point. That little pause, that jolt of mental friction, yeah, that was no accident. That feeling is the exact mystery we're going to unravel in this explainer. You've just experienced a very intentional piece of cognitive engineering. So, to understand why that little moment of confusion is so powerful, we first need to look at the tools being used to create it. And that means we have to talk about the powerful and often really contradictory language of color. Let's start with red. It's got this wild duality, doesn't it? On one side, it's all passion, love, energy. A Valentine's heart. But on the other side, it's danger, warning signs, conflict, stop. Red is basically screaming, look at me. You just don't know if it's with love or with alarm. Then you've got yellow, it's pure sunshine and optimism, but it's also the color of caution tape. It's like a yellow traffic light, not a hard stop, but a very clear signal to wake up and pay attention. It's this perfect mix of brightness and warning. And blue, we think of it as calm, trustworthy, stable, like a deep ocean. But of course, we also talk about having the blues when we're feeling down. So it holds both peace and melancholy all at the same time. Okay, so point made. Colors are complicated. They carry a ton of emotional baggage. Now, let's circle all the way back to that glitch we felt at the start and see how that emotional language is used on purpose to create a conflict right inside your head. The conflict is definitely still there, but it feels a little different now, right? On the left, that loud red background creates this three-way tug of war in your brain. Then, on the right, the playful, tilted font just changes the whole vibe. Every single choice here is being manipulated to create a slightly different flavor of mental static. This mental glitch, this processing delay we're all feeling, it actually has a name. It's a famous phenomenon in psychology called the Stroop effect. It's that exact moment of confusion your brain hits when it's trying to process conflicting info, like seeing the word red, but it's printed in blue ink. So how does it really work? Well, your brain is an absolute rock star at reading. It's so good that it happens automatically. You don't even think about it. But naming the color of the ink, that's a conscious task. You have to actively override your brain's instinct to read the word. That clash, that fight between the automatic and the conscious, is what causes the delay. And here's the crucial point. This isn't just a vague feeling. It is a real, measurable delay in your brain's processing time. Most people take about 100 to 200 milliseconds longer to identify the color when the word and the ink don't match. That's the Stroop effect, right there in the data. Which, of course, brings us to the biggest question of all. We've seen how it works, but why? Why would anyone intentionally design something to be confusing? What's the point of engineering this cognitive speed bump? And this is where we get to the core idea of this whole thing. What if making an audience struggle, just a little bit, can actually deliver a more powerful message than just being simple and direct? I mean, it's an idea that challenges pretty much everything we think we know about good communication. So by now, we've kind of cracked the code, right? We know about the colors, we know it's the Stroop effect, we get the whole conflict thing. But just when you think you've got it all figured out, the source material throws a complete curveball. Yeah, this. After all that color, all that conflict, all of that cognitive noise, we get this. Just three small, simple, black words floating in a huge ocean of white space. The change is, well, it's jarring, isn't it? It feels like the silence right after a huge explosion. So now it's time to connect the dots. Why on earth would you show us all that confusion only to follow it up with such perfect, quiet clarity? What is the real message here? And this comparison right here basically illustrates the entire argument. On the left, you've got an explosion of color. It's loud, it's bold, it is literally built on conflict. And on the right, it's the complete opposite. It's quiet, simple, and perfectly clear. That extreme contrast, it has to mean something. That quiet slide just said our core beliefs. But what if the real core belief isn't those 3 words? What if the message is the experience of conflict itself? What if it's the struggle to solve the puzzle? That moment where you're forced to stop and think critically? What if the whole point was the journey you just took to get the answer? And really, that's the key takeaway here. Powerful communication isn't always about being instantly understood. By creating some strategic friction, you can force an audience to engage more deeply, to stop, process, and actually think about what they're seeing. So, I'll leave you with this to chew on. When is a message truly at its most powerful? Is it when it's simple and direct, all spelled out for you in black and white? Or is it when it makes you stop, struggle a little bit, and ultimately think for yourself?